Hello, Jack.
It's like, I'm hoping Dad will drop something.
This chicken salad is made with last night's baked chicken, some dressing that's 50% mayonnaise and 50% sour cream, more or less, some walnuts, and a diced up Granny Smith apple. I'm not too concerned about the exact size of the apple. These pieces are about 1/4 of an inch on the side. And I need to sharpen this knife. I'll be right back. I'm using a convenience sharpener. It has 2 steels that are mounted at an appropriate angle. You can hear the change in the sound as the knife sharpens. I think it's sharp enough now. That's a lot better. You know, one of the things I do when I cut vegetables and apples, things like that, when I need to dice them up, so I always make sure I have a flat side that can go onto the cutting board. That way it won't move around and you accidentally cut yourself while you're cutting your food. The other thing is I hold my hand with my fingers bent under. And I use my middle finger, the back of my middle finger, as the guide for the knife. That minimizes your opportunity to get cut accidentally, well, even on purpose. And we'll eat those little bits of apple with lunch. Now these walnuts that I'm using were purchased in a bulk package. And then Irene split them up into smaller containers. In this case, we're using, well, this is a care jar. Could be a ball jar, could be a mason jar, but it's a jar nonetheless. And she vacuum sealed them. Now, what that does is that preserves the freshness, because walnuts and pecans and other nuts like that have oils in them. Tastes just like when we put it in the jar. It seals out the oxygen. There's a little bit in there when you vacuum seal it, but it won't continue to oxidize the oils in the food. I try to have about the same amount of nuts as I have apple. It's just a kind of a convenient measure. And as you can see, I'm not worrying so much about the size of the apple and exactly how much apple has been cut up. The objective when cutting the nuts is to rough chop them. I don't want any really big pieces in the salad, but it's okay to have something that big occasionally. It just makes for an interesting dining experience. Nice mixture of apple and nuts. Now the question is, how much chicken do you need to put in your chicken salad? Well, that's a really personal question, a really personal preference. I never worry about exactly how much chicken goes in, but again, I want to have at least as much chicken as I have apples and walnuts. And we have a lot of chicken left on the bird. Now my plan is to have chicken with gravy and either mashed potatoes or rice for dinner tonight. I'm going to leave the breast that's not been touched so we can have it for dinner tonight. And I'll be using the side that we sliced off from last night. That's a good pile of chicken. I think we're going to end up with probably a meal and a half worth of chicken salad here. Now I'll have to wipe off the outside of this bag, but the rest of the chicken is back in the bag and it will go in the refrigerator when I'm done here. I'm going through looking for bones or cartilage that might have come off the bird. And this all looks fine. What I'm going to do is slice the chicken in about the same size chunks as I did for the apple. If some of the pieces of chicken are a little bit big or a little bit small, don't worry about it. It'll eat just fine. I'll make some pieces of chicken a little bit bigger just to make the salad interesting. I always mix the chicken, apples, and nuts together before I add the dressing. That way you have a pretty good chance of having an even distribution of things throughout your salad. I mix the chicken salad until there's no large clumps of food that's not been coated with the sauce, or I also make sure there's no large pockets of dressing by themselves. That looks pretty good. Do you want to come give it a taste, Irene?
Sure. Always willing to be a taste tester.
Have a fork. Yum.
Looks good.
Now the only question is, what kind of bread are we going to put this on? I have some English muffins that I think this will be really great on. I think I'll pull one out of the refrigerator, toast it up, and put Irene's salad on that. I'm not going to have any bread with mine for dietary reasons. I also make sure to use sour cream that does not have starch extenders in it. A lot of low-fat sour cream uses starch, modified food starch, tapioca food starch, things like that to extend the product. I shouldn't eat those, so I look for sour cream that is higher protein content and no added starch. Toasted English muffin. And a nice serving of chicken salad. For me, I'll just have the chicken salad plain. And there's enough chicken salad left for probably another meal. I think we're going to go enjoy this chicken salad right now.
This is one of Henry and I's favorite lunches. And sometimes, if we want a little bit of a change of pace, we'll also add dried cranberries in there if we're out of apple, or if we'll do sort of half apple and half dried cranberry. It gives them really nice color and a different flavor.
You can add all kinds of things. You know, we happen to like the Granny Smith apple. We can also add cranberries in with it as well. You can add other kinds of fruits if you wish.
I actually had a similar salad 20 years ago when I went out to lunch with a girlfriend, and they had also included grapes that they had cut up into quarters as part of it.
So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy your lunch. We're going to.
Happy eating. See you later.